Dude, we're talking about fake core again. I love fake core.
Yeah, I like fake core. It's pretty fun.
No, I love fake core.
No, I know you do. You really enjoy it.
No. I love fake core.
I gotcha.
I'm gonna ask fake core to marry me.
Did you ask fake core's father for permission?
Yes.
What the
Do you feel me trying to keep a straight face and failing?
Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm Krug.
And today we're going to be talking about Krug's deep, dark, passionate feelings about fake core.
Why did you say dark?
They're not dark. There's nothing dark about them.
They're definitely unrequited. I don't think fake core is gonna accept my proposal.
I don't think so either.
So we already have a fake core video that's talking about like the game's mechanics that we think are interesting, but we didn't specifically talk about how to make a character. This video is gonna reference that video so that this video can be a little bit shorter and easier to digest. And also, you know, as long as I'm throwing out the justifications for having two videos, it's to get you to watch more of our videos. What do you expect? Come on. So a fake core character and fake core character creation in general is best done in a group.
Okay.
It's best done as a zero session. If you're not familiar with the concept of a zero session, the GM and all the players get together without the intention of actually progressing the story. Instead, they get together with the intention of creating the world and then creating the characters that are going to be exploring and experiencing the world. It's a really useful thing, I think, for every kind of role-playing game, but with this especially, it not only is like designed into the rules, but it is also extra beneficial because a lot of the things that you're going to be creating as a part of your character are just coming from your head. You're not picking from a list, you're literally making stuff up. And so having other creative role-playing type people at the table with you to like bounce ideas off of or like get fresh ideas from is really, really, really useful and legitimately can make your character stronger and more enjoyable to play. Not over-exaggerating that at all. I'm going to be building a character throughout this that is my favorite archetype, a paladin that doesn't necessarily fight, but is very, very good at defending themselves and very good at defending other people and very good at
being big and beefy.
Visual signaling for aircraft. That is what they're good at. So we're gonna skip over some of the basic crap. You pick a name. Good job. You pick a description. It's more of a physical description or like a mental state description. The description field is not mechanical in any way. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. The high concept is a very important part of your character. What defines the entirety of your character in as succinct a way as possible.
Okay.
It can be very general, but it should define as much of your character as possible. If the two big, like important, meaty things about your character are that you are a scaredy cat and you use magic, you should get both of those things in there. You can't just say a magic user. So the high concept I would pick would be Holy Paladin, Defender of the Weak.
It's like tags in City of Mist.
It is.
It's just like generic one or two words that kind of give you a description of the direction that your character is going to be going in.
Now, the important part about the high concept, and the same with everything that is an aspect or aspect adjacent, is that it should be both positive and negative. I am a paladin, that implies that I'm strong. Defender, that implies that I'm capable of defending people, obviously.
Sure.
But Defender of the Weak implies that I'm obligated to defend the weak. I can't be called Defender of the Weak without doing that.
Sure.
That's giving the GM something to compel. That's giving me something to invoke from the aspect. And it plays really well, I think.
You're not going to be King John's guard.
And when I see his lackeys going after the townspeople and like ransacking their shops, I'm not going to ignore that, nor will I be able to. Next is your trouble, a conflict, but it doesn't have to be an external conflict. It can also be an internal conflict. It's the difference between is a war criminal and
has depression?
Yeah, has depression. Those are two equally valid things. You can go whatever direction makes the most sense for your character. It's an aspect that's going to be invoked. Try to keep in mind with the GM and your conversation with the GM that they have to use it against you or to compel you to do something. And so finding something that is pertinent to the environment that you're in, pertinent to the worlds that you're in is really important. My trouble for the character that I'm fake building right now is I'm tempted to kill. I believe in a path of peacefulness, but killing feels great. After you pick those two aspects, you're going to want to pick skills. There are a bunch of skills. They're on the screen right now. You get to choose which skills you're proficient in and how proficient you are in them.
Can't you also, as with Fate, choose your own skills?
Yeah.
If you, as a group, want to be in a different kind of setting that makes has different things that are more specific to that setting, you can actually choose not to use these?
Yeah, there's a specific book for doing that.
Okay.
But it also just encourages you to like experiment. I added a luck skill for our Fate Core session, Pub Perils, and that was based on a player request. So we worked out like a consequence and a benefit for using it, and we thought it was really fun.
You can actually watch how they use it by watching the episodes of Pub Peril.
Plug. When you pick your skills, you're going to need to allocate them to a proficiency level. Now, because Great is the most powerful skill, and that's the highest skill that the characters have access to, that's going to be called the skill cap. You're not going to be able to surpass that until you reach a specific point.
Okay.
Anything that isn't listed in your list of skills is just a bonus of 0. Just roll dice. Aspects are what we're going to talk about next. Now, you can just take your character and the idea that you have for your character and pick 3 aspects, but Fate included this really super interesting 0 session kind of exercise to build your aspects with the rest of your table. And it also, in addition to helping you build your aspects, allows you to discover a lot of details about the other characters at the table.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool. I personally really like it. It comes in 3 phases. First phase is your adventure.
Okay.
Every character is going to write, and every time I say the word write, you don't actually have to write it down. You can just say it and like remember it. Just do the thing you're comfortable with. So you're gonna write down a story about your character, like an adventure that your character went on. The example story I came up with for Krug is that a very long time ago, before he was trained, before he'd even begun to think about being a paladin, he went out and just happened to see a group of outlaws harassing some civilians.
Okay.
So he went to their aid to defend them, took some hits for them. Krug talked to them, explained to them like why what they were doing was wrong. And now, as far as Krug knows, they're just, you know, responsible members of society.
Yeah. Now, this also comes along with some sort of like tag or like little couple of words to describe that event.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. After coming up with the story and something that interests you and you think fits your character really well, use that to come up with an aspect.
Okay.
Now we're on to phase 2, which is crossing paths. And this is where it gets creative and awesome.
Paths, not streams, because you don't cross
You never cross the streams.
Never cross the
Now, when you cross paths, you're going to trade stories with other characters.
Okay.
You can trade however you want as long as everybody ends up with a story that is not their own. Read it, figure out how your character helped with this story. You could have been creating problems. You could have been like the klutz that messed something up and made it so that the original writer of the story that's now in your hands had to do the thing that they ended up doing. The things that you can't do are step on the toes of the main hero of the story, and you can't do something boring. You still have to be self-serving.
So for the example you've already given, Krug stopping a horde of bandits.
Yeah.
Theoretically, as my character, if we cross paths, I could say that I was either one of the civilians that was there and saw your actions, or I could even say that I was one of the bandits. And
Absolutely.
you made me change my mind about my actions.
Yep.
Both of those situations are involved with you.
Yes.
Like, they're not necessarily helping or hindering you.
Correct. And both of those choices, I think, inform a really cool aspect about your character. Like if you used to be one of the bandits, and that opens up a lot of doors for you to have like back channels in the criminal underground, and for bandits to like still want something from you.
Former Thieves Guild.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's really good. Former Thieves Guild. That's the kind of thing that you want to do when you're interjecting yourself into someone else's
Can
story.
you tell the difference between my character and yours?
Yes.
The holy paladin that saves people without hurting them. Thieves Guild. I stab people.
Now we're on to phase 3, called Crossing Paths again. You basically do the same thing, the caveat being you can't have either of the stories that you previously looked at. You can't have your own, and you can't have the first story that you added to. So this is a third story.
We had originally shared my story and your story, and now we would add, for example, TS's story.
Exactly.
She would give either me or you her story, and it's kind of like a round robin almost situation.
The third person to add to a story has to keep the same things in mind. They can't step on the main protagonist's toes. They also can't step on the second person to add to the story's toes. From there, they also should be self-serving. So the example I wrote is I got a story about somebody who was trying to uncover a like corruption in the government. Indigo's character had already contributed to the story and used their charisma and their persuasiveness to get the player or TS's character an audience with the leader of the guard. The guard found out that some of his subjects were corrupt and in the pocket of the corrupt portion of the government, and so they fled. I was one of the good guards, Krug, in that story, and so I helped them escape by doing cool guard stuff. That story continues on for the main character, TS, to resolve that plot line. So it makes me look good. It doesn't step on Indigo's toes because I had nothing to do with getting anybody anywhere. It doesn't step on TS's toes because I didn't fix the problem.
Yeah.
She fixed the problem.
Yeah.
Self-serving, but not stepping on anyone's toes.
Yeah.
And so because of that story, the aspect that I would want to add to my character would be something along the lines of a shield is only as strong as the arm that wields it. You can only really defend somebody if you're doing it for the right reasons.
Your character will never defend my character.
No. But your character probably won't ever need it. Last but not least, we're going to talk about character advancement. We did skip over stunts. That's because we talked about them very in depth in our previous episode. If you want to go check it out, link is in the thing. Character advancement's really interesting here because it's not based on numbers or math or any sort of quantifiable thing. It is based on the story. It's based on the character's impact on the world. So there are 3 types of milestones that you can accomplish. A minor milestone, a significant milestone, and a major milestone.
Okay.
And when you get to each of those milestones by the decree of the GM, basically, you get to do some advancement type things.
Okay.
A minor milestone's basically you finished a thing.
Okay.
A single thing. Maybe that thing didn't have any positive or negative impact on the world by itself, but it was a good step on your road to doing something impactful.
You stopped a bar fight.
Yeah, you stopped a bar fight, and because you stopped the bar fight, you got information on where to go next. You progressed the story. This could also just be the end of every session.
Okay.
If you want it to be, because these aren't really that strong.
Okay.
You get a list of things to choose from. Switch the ranks of any 2 skills. Replace an average skill with one that isn't on your sheet at all. Change a stunt for another stunt. Purchase a new stunt with your refresh, or rename a character aspect except for your high concept. You can also take one minor consequence and rename it to show that you've started to recover. So a minor consequence would be like 1st degree burns to itchy right forearm. It takes a very minor injury that wasn't necessarily hindering you that much and turns it into something less than that. Now, a significant milestone is the next one. Something impactful, but not world-changing. Very helpful to a town, or very helpful to a city, a specific locale. But you didn't stop the darkness that's been encompassing the world.
Okay.
You beat the mini boss, basically.
You defeat the Duke on the way to defeating the evil king.
Yeah, exactly. When you reach a significant milestone, you can use any of the things from a minor milestone. In addition to, you gain a skill point with which you can either increase a skill by 1 or buy a new skill. Now, there are a couple things to note here. You can't have more skills in any given level of proficiency than you have at the level of proficiency immediately below it. 4 average skills and 5 fair skills.
But you can have 4 and 4.
But you can have 4 and 4.
Okay.
And if you get a 5th average skill, you can add a 5th fair skill. In addition to that, you can also rename a severe consequence to start the recovery process.
Okay.
Last but not least, a major milestone. World scale impact. You've done something that makes everybody's lives different.
You defeated the king.
You defeated the king. Or you've, destroyed the artifact. Whatever it is that you were trying to do, you did it. And because of that, no challenge that you have faced previously will ever challenge you again. That is how much stronger you are now.
Wow.
Yeah. You can take advantage of the following benefits in addition to anything from any of the previous benefits. You can rename an extreme consequence, gain an additional point of refresh, which you can immediately use to buy a stunt or take as just an additional point of refresh. You can advance a skill past the campaign's skill cap, and you can rename your character's high concept if you so desire.
I'm definitely going to be pushing something into the next category.
Yeah. Once you have all that, you're ready to play. This game's fun. If you haven't tried it yet, what the fuck's wrong with you? Go try it. It's so great.
Well, what I want to know is I want to know what your thoughts are about the crossing paths aspect.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I can see why some people would think it was like, oh, it takes too much time. I'd rather just build on my own
You
character.
need to have the willingness to do the 0 session as like a planned thing that you're going to find enjoyable. If that's not something you enjoy, maybe just pick them.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about it. While you're down there, make sure to hit the like button on this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon if you haven't already. And then head over to Twitter and talk to me there. You can talk to me at IndigoQT.
You can talk to me on Twitter at KrugQT. Also, if you're on Indigo's Twitter, tell him to feel better soon because he's been sick for like a year and he's dying and I don't want that. Once you're done with that, you can find both of us at the same time on these social media things. We're almost at 100 Discord people, right?
We are over 100.
We're over 100 Discord people?
We just hit it this week, actually.
Let's lie to them so that it sounds more meaningful.
We're
for them.
almost to 100. Help us.
100! Well, help us get to 100. I don't know why people think that works.
Technically,
Yeah.
Technically, we're at like 99 because one of them is a bot.
Oh.
So
Don't tell people that we bought all of our accounts.
what? No, one of them a bot so that we can do fun stuff with it. Anyway, we'll see you all later. We've been GameGorgon.